Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.
Hello and welcome to the Leveling Up podcast with me, George Swift. The Leveling Up podcast is here to give you the personal development, the entrepreneurial development and the business growth that you, the ambitious business owner, desires. I'm here to give you the inspiration, the motivation, but above all else to challenge your aspirations to take you and your business to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so that you never miss an episode. And in today's episode, we are talking about the rules in life, the rules in business, and how unfortunately they will continually keep changing. This is something I've noticed in my own business. It's also something I recognize in many of my members' lives and my members' businesses as they've continued to grow and evolve. The bottom line is really simple. Just when you think you've learnt the rules that apply to your business or the rules that apply to success, they invariably seem to change on you. You think you've cracked it, you think you've worked it out, and then suddenly everything you seem to have learnt no longer appears to be applicable to the game that you're currently playing. I had this come up in one of our masterminds recently. It was raised out of frustration from one of our most ambitious mastermind members who's absolutely smashing it, doubling it year on year and some, and will invariably be a £1 million business in the not too distant future. And they were saying, like, they've worked it out. They think they've understood the rules. They've done everything they're meant to do. They've applied everything, they've had success with it, and then it stops working. And it's like suddenly they don't seem to understand or don't really seem to realize, like, what am I doing wrong or what are they doing different that's creating this, slowdown in momentum, or even just sometimes a sense of not quite sure what they're meant to be doing or what they're meant to be turning up for, what they're meant to be developing and all this sort of stuff. And they think they've worked it out, and then the rules seem to change on them. And the truth is, this is inevitable in business growth. It just tends to show itself more readily when you're fast tracking big growth quickly. Most businesses grow very slowly. They grow very organically, and they might go, from 30 to 40 to 50 to 70 to maybe 100 to 120, 140, 180. Do you know what I mean? And it's all systematic, and the rules are kind of built upon. So yes, the rules are changing, but because the growth is so slow, typically they adapt over these long periods of time to a point where they don't really notice necessarily that a lot has changed. But when you go from 50 to 100 to 200 to 400 to 800 to 1.5 million to 3 million, and you continue to grow like that, obviously you are potentially struggling to keep up with the business growth. The rules are changing so fast because you're evolving the business so quickly. This is completely normal. It's frustrating. It's uncomfortable. It can be tiring. It can be exhausting, but it is an inevitable part of growing your business, especially if you grow it fast. And of course, at success groups and at our extreme growth masterminds that they're a member of, we are pushing fast growth. So when I see a member go from 50 to 100 grand, it doesn't surprise me that the business that they now have doesn't necessarily follow the same rules that they learned back in the day when they were doing 50K. So they have to catch up, and they evolve and they adapt and they try and keep up with their business. But if they then go for 200 the following year, then they find themselves in a similar situation again. Now, of course, it's not just year on year, it's a progressive thing throughout the year. So at any point, it's really possible that any of these business owners can really feel out of their depth or feel like they don't really know what they're doing, or have just this sense that the rules that they originally learned or the rules that they thought they'd learned to apply seem to not work anymore. And rather than actually just looking at it and thinking, okay, so the rules aren't working or I'm doing something differently, actually what it's time to do is normally to evolve again. In other words, you might need to evolve to apply yourself in new ways in your business so you can take it to the next level, or it might be time to evolve the business itself so that it can go to the next level. I'll share with you the same analogy that I shared with this member, and that is that of playing football. So you want to play football, You learn to play football. It takes you a while to learn all the rules of football, not just the academic lessons of football, but just to learn how to be a great footballer. And just when you think you've mastered being a great footballer, you suddenly find yourself on a cricket pitch with a table tennis bat in your hand and a shuttlecock. And you're looking at this thing going, what the fuck do I do with this stuff? And that is business. When your business evolves so quickly, when your business grows so quickly, it can be just like that. 1 minute you're playing football, the next minute everything is changed. It's not that the whole game has changed, but everything within the game has changed. Like playing cricket with a table tennis bat and a shuttlecock. Like none of it makes any sense anymore. You know, you thought the networking was the way to grow your business, and suddenly networking doesn't seem to work for you anymore. Well, the chances are it does work for you. It's just not working for you to take your business to the next level. Last Friday, I shared in that episode our own journey to where we are today as a business. And I wanted to share about how we've gone from a 5-figure business, maxed out doing 50, 60K, and how we broke the first 100K, and then how we went on to do 200K and beyond. And I can tell you now, we had to massively change what we were doing. And networking was one of the things that got us to well over 100 grand. Well, before that, we were applying all kinds of different strategies that weren't working. So suddenly we just do all networking. We cut out all the crap that we were being told to do. More about that in Friday's episode if you want to go back and learn a little bit about what we went through. And suddenly we found our winning formula. Tracy went out networking. She'd inspire local business owners to come and spend some time with us. I'd run an event. In that event, I would take them through a mindset issue or procrastination or motivation, or I'd talk to them about a business aspect. I would share with them how they can grow their business. I'd inspire them to grow their business. I'd invite them to a 2-month program that we would run. During that 2-month program, I would continue to educate them. I would demonstrate our ability to help them grow their businesses and themselves as business owners. And then we'd invite them to join our business group longer term. And it worked. And it was a repeatable model, and it had predictable results. And that's kind of a winning formula that we all need in order to take our business to the next level. We had cracked it. After a number of years of struggling and being buried in the 5 figures, we had an absolute winning formula that we could rinse and repeat in order to continually grow our business. And that formula took us to about 150 grand. So you think you've cracked it. It's working predictably. I'm not saying it was all up. We had ups and downs. Of course we did. But it was working. And the business continued to grow and grow and grow. Nice and steadily. It was fast growth. It was good growth. But it was also steady. And it was predictable. And we had repeatable results. And we were winning. And then you get to a certain point, and suddenly it doesn't seem to be working anymore. Well, the truth is it was working. It was working to maintain a 150K business. So the rules were working. They were just working to maintain what we'd got to. And unfortunately, if we wanted to go to the next level, we had to find new rules. We had to find a different way of playing the game. And it's uncomfortable because the other stuff was working. So over that transitional period, we didn't just hit 150, max out and then stop. We saw how things were kind of slowing down. We could see how things were panning out. So we had to go out there and reapply new rules, find new rules. So as I said on Friday's episode, we then started to really work heavy on referrals, and we worked internally within the club to get our successful members to go out there into the marketplace and, you know, who did they know that would benefit from being a part of what we were doing? And that worked really well. And guess what? Those two strategies of continually still networking and doing referrals got us to $250,000. And then guess what? They stop to work, or certainly don't seem to work in the same way. So you think you've cracked it again, you've had big growth, you think, right, nothing can stop us now, we just keep rinsing and repeating and off we go. But of course, those rules get you to a certain point, then they max out, and then you need something else. The rules don't apply anymore to the next phase of your business. So as we started to see where that was taking us, Tracy had to get herself out of networking simply because networking was a really time-consuming activity. So whilst the business would still benefit from her doing networking, the networking actually was potentially holding the business back, because the networking was the strategy that got us to 150K. So therefore, if we're running $250,000, that strategy potentially holds us back to the 150K. Now we've added new strategy, new tactics, which got us to $250,000, then guess what? We had to jettison some of the old stuff that wasn't relevant anymore. So we let go of the networking, backed off from the networking, doubled down on the referrals, and then moved into our next strategy. And we'll continue to do this throughout our business career. And as much as I wish we could just crack it once, master it once, and then just rinse and repeat all the way up to our mega millions and beyond, the truth of the matter is the strategy we're applying now will get us to a certain point. We think the strategy we're applying now will get us to a very good degree of the success that we're going for overall. However, the truth of the matter is, until we start to really hit those higher levels of success, we won't know. Does the current strategy take me to 1 million, 5 million, 10 million? I don't know. Does it get us to the next 100 or 200 grand? We don't know. We can see how it could predictably get us a long way forward. But the one thing I've learned is the rules can very quickly change on you, just like they were for this lady that's also going through her own fast track growth. So for you, the small business owner, you need to understand that you do need to find your winning formula. You do need to find your repeatable, your predictable patterns of doing business that give you these repeatable results that you can predict moving forward. You need that. It's absolutely how you scale a business. You don't want ad hoc results. You don't want to just wing it. You absolutely want to say, right, here's my winning formula. Here's the rules for my success. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Go all in, crank the handle hard and fast, get the growth. But guess what? The rules will inevitably change on you. They'll get you to a certain point. They'll get you from 50 to 100, maybe 150, and then you'll start to see that what you're doing isn't going to get you to the next level. And maybe you'll apply some new rules. And guess what? There'll be a steep learning curve. You have to work out the new rules, work out what the hell you meant to do with this cricket pitch, this table tennis bat and this shuttlecock. You finally work out what you're doing with those things. You'll make it work. You'll start to win that game. You'll then win at that game. And then guess what? You'll find yourself in a swimming pool on a pogo stick. All right? And you'll think, what the hell? You have to just keep evolving. It's absolutely essential that you evolve as the business owner, and it's essential that you continually evolve your business. I wish there was an easier way. I wish there was a way of just, working out what the rules were and applying them forever and ever, and then continually growing your business. The truth of the matter is, the only way that you're not going to need to evolve as a business owner, or you're not going to need to evolve your business, is if you turn around and say, that'll do. So you hit 100K, and then you'll say, that'll do. I won't go to the next level. I won't push any harder. I'll just continually repeat what I'm doing. And then guess what? You might get to hang in there for a little bit longer without having to change the rules. But the truth of the matter is, even in that set of circumstances, even though you're not necessarily changing the game you're playing, the game sometimes changes around you. Legislation will change, the environment will change, the economy will change, your customer base will change. Something else will happen outside of your control, and you'll still realize that the rules have changed again. Every time we go through a shift in the economy, we go from a booming economy, maybe we go into a recession. As we do that, the rules change. The rules on how people buy change, the rules on how we do business change. And if you continually keep trying to do the same, but in a different economy, in different conditions, or in a different environment, the chances are those rules, whilst they were working, will not continue to work. So what you want to do is continually develop yourself. Continually develop your business. And whilst it might have caught us out in the old days, because we think nothing can stop us now, we've cracked this, we're now way smarter, way wiser than we were back then. And I know that what we're doing now will eventually run out of steam. Either the environment around us will shift, and I can see it already shifting. The economy's changing. We've got all kinds of crazy crap going on politically. So I can see things shifting and changing. What you do is you keep one eye on it. You don't react too fast. You don't overreact. What you do is you're just monitoring. You're looking for the hints of the game. How's the game going to be played this year, this season? How's it going to be played, during this current economic climate? If we go through, a tougher time economically, either as a country or even globally, how does that impact what I'm doing? How does that impact the rules that I'm applying? How has the game changed, and how do I need to apply myself differently so that I can continually still get the results that I want, which is to grow my business, no matter what's going on outside of me. You can't belligerently just keep doing the same thing and expect to get a different result. So you bring in something new, it gets you to a certain level, then you're going to have to evolve again. When do you evolve? Well, you keep your eye on the marketplace, you keep your eye on your business growth, you look at the pressure points in your business, you look at the tension points in yourself, you look at the pressure points, the tension points in your marketplace, your clients, the economy. You're looking, you're learning, and then you adapt as you go, just like evolution works. The environment shifts and then you shift. As you shift, the environment might shift. And you're constantly evolving and you're constantly adapting, and this is how you win. The current strategy you're applying right now, I don't know where you are in business. It might double your business right now. It might be that you need new rules right now in order to take your business to the next level. It might be that your current set of rules will take you a bit further forward, and then you're going to need to evolve. What you don't want to happen is you don't want to get to a point where you get so frustrated and you get so pissed off with it all that you think it's not worth it. Because the moment you think it's not worth it, the chances are that's when you're going to give up. I want you to continually strive to continually improve your life, your business, the world around you. And the way you do that is you have to continually keep evolving to the changes and the circumstances around you. But also as you grow, you are evolving. And as you evolve, you are also changing the conditions that you're operating in. And therefore you need to keep up with your own business, and you need to continually evolve yourself as a business owner, but also you need to continually evolve the business itself so that it can continually keep moving forward. You want that fast track growth. We've got members that have gone from 100 grand to 150 to 350 to 750 to 1.5 million. From 1.5 million, he went to 2.2 million to 3 million plus. He's got multiple six-figure businesses. He's got another five-figure business. I've seen this growth go on year and year. Within that, the rules have changed immensely. And just recently, I've spoken to the guy and the rules are changing again now. And he's having to adapt and his business is needing to adapt again. So this is never going to go away. I've got another one of my business members who's doing multiple millions in his business. And he's just having to reevaluate as well, because what he was doing suddenly doesn't seem to be working. Certainly not in the capacity that it was working. And now he's left scratching his head and working out what's changed. How do I need to adapt to these changes? At the moment, it's just happened. It's hard to see what's happened. So you have to get under the bonnet of what's changed. Are we doing something different? Is the market different? Are our clients thinking differently or behaving differently? Work out where the changes are, adapt to those changes, and take yourself onwards to the next level. We've had business owners and members go from 50 to 120 to 180 to 450 and on to 800 plus targets next year. We've had business owners that have started up new business ventures and have struggled maybe to get out of the low five figures for a little while, and then suddenly they hit the wall, they hit it, and suddenly they go from like $2,000 a month, bam, to 100 grand a year, literally overnight, because they make it work. They understand the rules of the game that they're playing. They adapted, they learned, they applied, they hit the money, right? They hit 100K plus. Guess what? The rules don't work anymore. You go from a $2,000 business to 100 grand, right? To $2,000 per month to an 8, 9, 10 grand a month business. The rules don't apply anymore. So where they had lots of time and loads of energy spare, now they run ragged and they're tired and they're struggling to keep up with the demand. So they're having to evolve their business, but to evolve their business, they're having to evolve themselves, because they're the business owner. They have to lead their business into the next version of what their business is. So how do they continue, not just to maintain what they've got, which is actually a struggle because of the speed of growth, but actually they're also having to work out how do they continue to grow their business, because they want to take their business now. They've got that momentum. They don't want to stop. They want to go from 100 grand to 200 grand. But they can't possibly do it playing the game the way they are playing it right now. And even playing it the way that got them to 100K, it's not the same rules that are going to get them to 200K, so they're going to have to evolve again. They're playing catch up. And this is normal. This is why we talk about leveling up and saying you, the business owner, has to level up so that you can level up your business. Sometimes what happens is you level up, you apply some leveling up strategy to your business levels up so fast and so quickly that you then very quickly have to come back to you and you have to catch up. You have to level yourself back up again. Sometimes the business runs out of steam. It takes itself to a certain degree, like this business from £2,000 a month to 10 grand a month. And suddenly it's like, this is no longer sustainable. The way we're doing business isn't sustainable. So the business has to catch up with itself. It needs new models, new pricing, new strategies. Might need to hire people, new systems, processes, methodologies, not only just to keep up with the growth, but also, of course, to take that growth to the next level. So here's the thing. Understand the rules of the game for where you are right now. What's going to get you to double in the next 12 months? For me, for all businesses, that's the minimum you should be looking at. If you're a business doing 20, 30, 40 grand, you should be thinking 100K in the next 12 months. Work out what are the rules to get you to 100K. If you're doing 100K, what are the rules to get you to $250,000? If you're $250,000, what are the rules to get you to $500,000 or $1 million? If you're doing $1 million, what are the rules to get to 5 million, 10 million? You have to continually work out what the rules are, apply the rules. You then want those repeatable, predictable methodologies and tactics and strategies that you can rinse and repeat that give you predictable growth. And then you have to understand that inevitably they're going to run out of steam and you're going to need to bring in an evolution. And as long as you're willing to continually show up, continually turn up, and continually evolve yourself as a business owner and your business itself, you can continue to expect big, fast growth. You can be ambitious and you can deliver on those ambitions. Once again, I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do subscribe. You'll get a ping every Monday, Wednesday and Friday as these go live hot off the press. I'm absolutely committed to helping small business owners like you achieve your ambition. So please subscribe. I look forward to being on your own entrepreneurial journey. If you are a business owner and you haven't yet managed to take your business to 100K or more, please do go and check out the 6-Figure Fast Track. It's completely free of charge. It's my masterclass for 5-figure service-based businesses. You might be doing 20, 30, 40 or 50,000 that want to hit 100K in turnover in the next 12 months or even less. You'll find the 6-Figure Fast Track on our website. Go to biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk/fast track. I will put the link in the description of this episode. I will see you next time, and until then, as always, be successful.
Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.